one of the joys a writer has is being able to write about the things that interest them and hopefully kind of transmitting that interest to their audience. Well, one thing that I've always been fascinated about is this artist painter who lived during the time of Charles II, so kind of like the late 1600s, and he was the court painter, the royal painter for the court, and he painted these beautiful portraits of women, and he was especially good at their dresses. You could just see the silk and the folds, and it looked like you could reach out and touch them in the paintings. But there was also something else about his paintings that was quite noteworthy, and that is that in many of them, these women of the court who posed for him had one of their breasts showing. And I brought a little picture from a book I have in to kind of show that. And it just kind of, you go by these paintings and they're just beautiful, and they're obviously of very wealthy women, and you wonder, and sometimes they're married women or daughters of very wealthy men, and you're wondering to yourself, what was it that brought these kind of poses about? And since we don't really know for sure, I mean, people who, write about the art world have theorized and, said, oh, this is just kind of like a standard thing, or it meant that they were a mistress of somebody, but no one seems to really know for sure, and that's the kind of thing that a writer of fiction loves, because then I can take this man about whom very little is known and take this very interesting feature about his paintings and kind of fill in the background as I think appropriate. We do know that he had a woman that he was in love with who died giving birth to one of his children, and that is a fact. And between him painting these beautiful paintings and curious paintings and having this kind of tragic thing happen, I thought this guy, Peter Lely is his name, would be such a perfect hero in a novel. So my heroine, who comes from the present and is writing a biography of him, ends up interacting with him, and of course he's a person who's has a lot of secrets, so he doesn't necessarily want his life to be written about. So they kind of come to loggerheads over that, and as you might guess, both romance and comedy ensue. So.